Atta girl. All right, well, here we are, Animal Training Development Center, and today we have Ruby with us, and Ruby is just a 16-week-old chocolate lab, and she is with us for a 10-day board and train program. And being a puppy, we do puppy things, but we have a plan for her future, and some of the puppy things that we do now are going to translate into a much better dog down the road. So the technique we're using is called imprinting, and the idea of imprinting is we're trying to imprint upon the dog a message that's going to be received now and then flourish later. And so some of these concepts for a dog are based on what you want that dog to become or what you're hoping your dog will become. And so in this case, we're trying to imprint our puppy here so that Ruby can become a super side of a therapy dog team. So, good girl. We're building just on gentleness, so taking those treats nice and gently. And she's doing a really good job with that. She started off a little rough when we began this, especially when she's a little hungry and a little spirited, and that's pretty common. But as we teach her patience and we teach her to be calmer in taking the treat, this is something that will translate later into a wonderful therapy dog that does the same thing for friends that will give treats. Down. Good. We're also imprinting some basic command words. So when puppies are young, it's amazing the number of words they can learn, but it's also amazing how short a time they can do any of those words. So the average attention span for a puppy, down. Good girl. Good job. The average attention span for a puppy has been measured, and it's about 6 seconds. So when your puppy is outside in the backyard and maybe off leash and fenced yard pottying, and you call that puppy, if they're more than 6 seconds from you when you call them, they're going to forget you called them before they get to you. So you really don't have a lot of brain power to work with as far as their capabilities at this stage, but you could teach a lot of positive things. Stand. Stand. Good. I love the stand. That's a wonderful command to have in your toolkit no matter what your dog's future is going to be. It's just an opportunity to get them to stand up on all fours, and that way you can wipe their paws, or you can groom them, or your veterinarian can examine them. So these are all kinds of things that we're wanting to do at the early stage with a puppy. And the technique, again, is called imprinting, and we're just imprinting a behavior upon them and then rewarding them when they're in that mode. So if I, were to just tell her to stand right now, stand, she doesn't know that word well enough. But if I position stand and I get her there and then she gets that little reward, that's all going to be very helpful for her to develop into a dog that can do that without a treat and for long periods of time. Good girl. She does have a nice focus already for her age. I think that's, again, a credit to the quality of dog that she is just inherently. She's just got a really nice disposition in terms of training. There's a high level of what we call supportive dogality type here. And truly the supportive dogality type are the only ones of all the dogality types that are eager to please us. And I know that people like to think that dogs in general are eager to please, and although that's true, I would say dogs in general are eager to please themselves first. And so it doesn't make them bad dogs. It just means that if your working dog would rather go out there and see what's going on outside instead of come to you, then that's kind of what they're going to do. But the supportive dogality type is truly empathetic in the sense that they really want you to be happy with them, and your praise means as much, if not more, to them as treats do when they're pups. Stand. Good girl. Nice. So we're just doing that stand command, and I would say the stand trick, at least when it's puppy training style. So the trick means that they don't have to do it for long, and the only penalty if they don't do it is they just don't get the treat. Sit. Good. Stand. Good. Sit. Good. That's very cute. Very cute. There you go. She learned that from her mom, and she's done a great job of teaching her some words, and I can't remember the words she said for that, but that's a pretty cute little trick that will also really benefit down the road. I can just see you using that in a therapy dog application where you teach her to wave or whatever the case may be, and so that's a wonderful thing to have, and I would continue to imprint that as well. So great to see her doing that. So anything your dog does that's kind of unique and kind of draws attention without being, physical toward people is a good one to do. Stand. Nice. Good girl. And okay, good job. Oh, one last thing. We're also imprinting on her the idea that she can work on a place object. So we're going to teach her the place trick, and I always call commands tricks when they're puppies because again it's just basic stuff, just teaching the meaning of the word. There's no pressure to do it, and it's just imprinting them to have fun doing it and to be rewarded while doing. So we're doing the same thing here with this little cot. It also helps kind of keep them centrally located, where if you're on a big flat surface, they might want to run around and check things out. Here it kind of keeps her close by. We've got a couple of chew toys for her to have because she is still teething a lot, and some of these puppy teeth at 16 weeks are really sharp now, and still that teething is happening. So you just want to keep something near her that she can grab, put in her mouth, and give her an opportunity to work off some of those instincts to teeth, and to make it clear to them that it's not supposed to be us that are teething objects, but objects to be teething objects. And this one that she's got right here is actually from a dairy farm. One of my former puppy participants brought that in, and they had a dairy farm here locally, and thought that all the dogs they ever had when they were pups loved to teeth on this thing. I'm not sure what this part does on the dairy farm, but indeed this thing is old and been with a lot of puppies, but still holding up really well, and it's got the texture that a puppy really wants to teeth on or needs to teeth on. And you can see that she's enjoying it. At the same time, it's satisfying that craving she has to teeth and build the jaw strength, and also to develop those teeth. And so just have those things handy a lot when you've got puppies this age. It's almost an insatiable desire that they have, and if they don't have something close, then that's often when they start going for your hands. So hope you enjoyed this little segment, and we sure have enjoyed having Ruby, and looking forward to seeing her continue to progress, and we'll take you along the way. So as always, happy training. Good boy, Wrigley. All right. All right, well, here we are today with Wrigley, and soon to be Wrigley and Friends. Wrigley is here for our daycare training package, and he is doing our beta program. And really, he had a good foundation of obedience when he got here with his owner, but he really has learned a lot about how to interact with other dogs. And so today, we're kind of getting toward the middle of our program, and we thought we'd show you where we've gotten to with him. So I've got a little friend for him to meet for the first time, and we're about to bring her out. You may be able to hear her in the background. She is already eager to come out and play. So let's let her come and do that. Of course, we're going to wait till she's quiet before we open the door so that we don't reward that demand behavior. Good dogs. Good dogs. There we go. What do you think, Wrigley? What do you think, Wrigley? Good boy. Good boy. All right. So we're seeing some pretty normal introductory posturing, and there we have a kind of a stacking. So in a subtle way, Wrigley's establishing his dominance and making it clear to this pup that there's, one leader in this pack today, and that's going to be him. And she's fine with that. You could tell that she's, submitting and pretty cool with that. So once that's established, then we try to give them something to do. Sometimes they'll run around and chase each other. Other times we're going to go ahead and get out some toys and let them play with some toys. What do you think? Okay, we'll go. And you can see there, Ruby really likes to play with him, and although normally she would play with toys, she's really interacting with him in an outgoing manner. Oh, there she's even trying to show him who's boss. It's always fun to watch puppies. You can see their dogality type surface even when they're young like this. I think Ruby's only like 17 weeks old, but she's got a little dominant spirit of her own. And although it comes in a Labrador body, which makes it kind of cute, she does have a strong sense of self and is certainly kind of confident for a little pup. I like that. There we go. Now we're getting a chase game going. Good dogs. Good dogs. There we go. And that little bit of growling, if you can hear it, from Wrigley, the boxer, is all playful growling. And so a growl's not always a growl. And, even with their hair up on their back sometimes, it's not always, a sign that they're going to be aggressive. It's just a sense of heightened awareness and in the fun and in the play, that little growl comes out, but it really isn't, trying to intimidate or anything like that. It's just kind of a fun, playful grunt, if you want to think of it like that. Ruby place. Good. Good, Ruby. That's it. Good. Here you go. Whoops. Here you go. There you go. Good. You want that? Awesome. How about this one instead? There you go. Good girl. One more. Yes. Good. Good girl. That's it. So here we are back with Ruby. And today is her last night with us, or tonight will be her last night with us, today being her last training day with us. And we are kind of finishing up the place command for her, keeping in mind at her age, she can't do it for very long or through very high levels of distraction. But for her age, she's doing super well at it. So with any dog, the idea of making it clear what you're trying to say is the beginning of training. And I guess in theory, there's no real end to training. So even as your dog, peaks out and becomes, super well-trained in its prime dog, at some point they're going to begin to decline, based on age and stuff like that. So in that whole, circle of life sort of thing, Ruby is just a babe, literally, and we are still dealing with a lot of teething. And as I look into her mouth now, you can almost see that there's some adult teeth coming through the gums, but there's an awful lot of puppy teeth starting to look, a little sore looking. And this is a prime time for pups to get ready and start to lose their teeth. And so, you may remember as a kid, I kind of do, having a loose tooth, and you just, keep wiggling it, even though it hurts to wiggle, and it just kind of drives you nuts. You just can't quit messing with it. And puppies at this stage are kind of going through that same thing. And we call that kind of the temporary age of insanity. And it's usually a frustrating time for people to have a puppy, only because those teeth are needle sharp and they really hurt. Behind, the nipping isn't really a dog that's aggressive. Mostly it's just a dog that is teething. And so just trust me when I say, for these next couple of weeks with Ruby, let's keep a bunch of these types of toys handy, ready to give to her. Try not to even really give her a lot of attention, especially if she's already excited when she's near you, without having something to give her. And this is just perfectly normal behavior, but it's a phase that she's just starting to go into. I just want to forewarn you that she's going to be teething quite a bit here in the upcoming weeks. Having said that, she is excelling with her training, and for her age, I can't recall a dog that's done as well. She hasn't had a single accident in our house, not even one. She hasn't had a single accident here at the training center, not even one. It's just almost unheard of. She was already ringing the bells within, I think, the second day that we had her at my house. And so she continues to ring the bells here very nicely. Oops, nope, place. There you go, here you go. We're still working. She's a very quick learner. One of the things that we have noticed is that she gets along with every dog she meets, and she's a very, I would say, happy to play dog, but she's got a very strong personality that comes out during play, and I kind of like that. You'll see some of that in the video coming up. During a play session, I kind of make a comment that even though she's smaller, she's a contender for like a leadership role. So she's got a very dominant, what we call dominant dogality type, and that just makes her a good leader. And a strong-willed type of dog sometimes goes with that, but she's very smart and able to learn quite a bit. So the place command, like I said, has only got the one rule. She can do whatever she wants as long as she doesn't get off of it. I like a little elevated stand like this to start off with. And I know that we had talked about trying to find the right type of bed for her. So I have done some research and tried to find the ones that she was most comfortable with at my place. And I saw a couple that I thought you might be interested in, but wasn't sure which one you would like best. So I'll go over those with you. Everybody gets this video when they're done with their program, and then everybody gets a session to come back and do once you've kind of gotten her back and gotten her comfortable again. We'd like to have you come back and do a private session with us, and that's included in your package price. And then we could get into some details in terms of training, put the leash in your hand, coach you through a couple of things that we've been doing, and we'll show you some of those things here as well. But the idea is we'll have an hour private session for your whole family to come out and do, and we're excited to do that just after you get a chance to watch the video and kind of reunite with Ruby for a little while. Go ahead and text or call, whatever you'd like, and we can schedule that time for you. So the place command goes really well. I highly recommend you continue to practice at home using your leash. And just like now, I'm kind of sitting near enough that I can stop her if she goes to get off, but I want her to have this sense of being free to do what she wants. And if she does make a mistake right there, no, place, good. That's just exactly how it goes. So you're going to say the word NO as you kind of pull her back on, then repeat the word place as she gets back on, and then praise her as soon as she's back on. And if you repeat that as necessary, she's going to get better and better at this. But for right now, I highly recommend, because of her age and attention span, that we continue to stay really pretty close to her and keep her on the leash even in your house as you practice this. And next, we'll show you what we've been working on in terms of walking on a leash and some adult style training. Stay tuned. Okay, good girl. So another kind of rite of passage and kind of another marker as to where Ruby is in her development. You can see that she's barking, and I can tell that she's barking at that little pretend dog on top of the microwave back here. And it's been there, I think, the whole time she's been here, but she's just noticing it kind of for the first time. And this is just an example of what you can kind of expect here in the next couple of months as she starts to get into what we call pupperty instead of puberty. These instincts start to come to surface, and she's really not sure what to do with them. What we like to do is just kind of help coach her. And what I mean by that is I'm going to try to distract her in a pleasant way. Ruby, come here. Sit. Good. And so we're going back to kind of puppy technique here, but that's exactly what we need to do. And that is, I'm just going to try to help her work through her fears a little bit by letting her kind of think about some positive things like the treat. Sit. One rule that we're making, there you go, is making sure she takes those treats gently, because she's got just a mouthful of needle-sharp teeth right now, and her instinct to teeth is so strong that sometimes she's a little rough in taking those treats. But you can see they're doing the job of making her forget about this little dog back here. Sit. And this might be a tip for you. I mean, like I say, these instincts start to come to surface, and you'll probably get a chance to try this with her at home. So I'm kind of glad she kind of did this so that you can see what to do. Good girl. That's it. So backing away, I'm just using my body language, but at the same time, I'm buffering that distraction behind me, that little dog, but we also are getting closer to it at the same time, aren't we? So, and you can see her focus is really on the treat now. So, okay, good girl. Good girl. That's it. There you go. Sit. Good. That's it. Good dog. Now I'm going to let her check out this little dog. See that? Yeah, that's what you were scared of. And if she had freaked out over it when I went to show her, then we would have kind of put it back up, and I would have kind of repeated what I did, you know, kind of taking her back out this way a little bit, getting her to sit a couple of times for treats, and then slowly kind of working my way back in that direction. And if that didn't go smoothly, then we would try something to where we could buffer the distraction level even a little bit more, and at the same time kind of accomplish our goal of getting her desensitized to what are normal things that she's going to probably see a lot of in her lifetime. So again, she's a very exceptional little pup for her age, but she's still a little pup. So 17 weeks old, she's just a little kind of a newbie when it comes to all this stuff. And we're just going to coach her along and help you guys coach her along to become a very confident, a very well-trained, good, stand, good, and a very happy dog. Sit, good, stand, good. I like that stand one that we use, and it's just a great way for your veterinarian or your groomer to examine your dog. It's also a great way, stand, to wipe those feet off when they're all muddy and they're coming inside. So this is all good stuff. Sit. Good. And I know she was already doing some of that when she came, so a great job on your part for getting those things started. And this is great, what I call preschool type of education for a pup, and that's really the age that she's in. We have begun to introduce a couple of adult style techniques into the mix. She's too young to really push too fast, and you don't want to do that. You want to let her be a baby and let her kind of learn her things. But any dog that shows potential, even if they're really typically too young, if they can kind of grasp a little bit of the adult style messages and do so without too much stress or anything, then we want to go ahead and expose them to some of those concepts. So the adult style concept of training is different than the puppy style concept of training, because the puppy style concept of training is based on just pure reward. Stand. Good. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially when they're puppies, is they have a very short attention span and they have a very high motivation for food, and they need to, you know, eat a lot, and you can do a lot of great things with treats. But there comes a day, especially as dogs get a little older, they don't need the treats as much because they aren't growing as fast, and they got other interests that they've developed, things like rabbits and squirrels and kids on bikes and whatever else, you know, might get their attention. And then your food reward, stand, sit, good, down, 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 good girl. And anyway, and then your food reward won't have as much impact on them. And so what we want to develop is, you know, adult style techniques that are going to allow for her to see the other side of the coin. That is, you know, the puppy style training is side of the coin. It says if you listen, good things happen. It's pretty tasty. And then the other side is the adult style side. It says, oh, and if you don't, there may be some consequences that you won't like. And so for us, right now, we're just kind of working on this idea of walking. And the only rule with the walking with a puppy like this is that they can't get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. So I don't mind if she's on my right side or my left side or in front of me or behind me. She can sniff the ground, she can look around, she can do whatever. We do teach a heel command as they get a little bit older that they can learn. That is an awesome command, but it's way too intense and way too precise for her level of training right now. So what we're trying to convey to her, adult style, is just this idea of keeping some slack in the leash. And you can see as I walk around the room, at times I'll stop, and I'm just testing her to see if she's gonna stop at the leash like she did there before she reaches the end, or is she gonna see something and wanna continue forward and go take a look at that. And so same thing for you guys when you take her for walks. And right now I would recommend just starting off walking inside your own house. It's super icy and cold and terrible outside right now. But even if it were a super nice day, I would highly recommend you doing this inside your house, because inside your house, you can control the distractions. Outside your house, we just don't know what the wind's gonna blow next, or you know what car, person or dog or animal is gonna come by. So here, as I walk her away, Ruby needs to keep some slack in the leash. That's the job that she's learning that she has to do. And we're doing the adult style techniques for this, which basically means right before she reaches the end at any time in any direction, right before she reaches the end, I want to proactively tug in the opposite direction that she's going. So let me see if I can set this up for you to see an example. Remember I said never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. And although this is kind of you know, almost unfair, she should learn that even if I throw a treat right there, that we just can't get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. So let me try another one. Good. Maybe I'll even give her one over here just for sitting. Sit. Good. Nice and gentle. Good girl. Now we're going to toss another one. Let's see if she's learning her lesson. I'm ready to tug back just like I did the first time, and you have to do it right before they reach the end. What a good girl. Okay. And because she didn't go for it, I'm going to go ahead and let her have both those. And there again is a pure testament to your dog's brightness. She's very smart. I fully expected that to take at least 3 tries, and normally it would. So just another example of something that I've enjoyed with her every day that we've had her, is just watching her intelligence and watching her potential start to bloom. So at any rate, thanks again for your trust in us. We're looking forward to getting you this video and getting you safely back into town, and then let you guys all reunite and kind of take maybe a few days. I think the weather's supposed to be really awful until after Wednesday next week, but let's go ahead and schedule a time after that for you to come back as a family, or even if just one of you can come, just come and spend that hour with us so we can go over some more of the details and encourage you on to greatness. So thanks for your trust in us, and we will look forward to seeing you again soon. And as always, happy training.